Let's face it, the Labor Senator Stephen Conroy was just the wrong man to get into a spat with Lieutenant General Angus Campbell. Conroy is thoroughly disliked even by his own side of politics. It was of Conroy that Simon Crean once said, "Oh, Stephen's not so bad until you get to know him." So, of course, when the Senator called Angus Campbell for being involved in a political cover-up, there was hell to pay. It was a case of a malicious, nasty little grubby politician attacking a gallant man, a soldier in the service of his country. No contest. But hang on a minute and let's have a look at the substance of the accusation. Angus Campbell has become a frontman for the government's asylum seeker policy. It cannot be denied that there is a great confusion now between the roles of the military and the roles of the civil government. Morrison has conscripted Campbell as his personal General Supreme Commander, and it's not a good look. For starters, Morrison is not the Defence Minister. He is not Campbell's superior. Campbell would normally report through the head of the Defence Forces, General David Hurley, to the Defence Minister, whose name I think is David something or other. But as he has become part of almost Morrison's private army, and this puts him in a great conflict of positions too. And he's not just part of the private army, he's put on stage beside Morrison for the non-event press conferences that the pair hold. Now, this is done for two reasons. One is to respectabilise the government's policy, to make it look as if it is endorsed by the armed forces, which in fact it isn't, as if it is part of an armed military operation, which it definitely isn't. And the other reason, of course, is to justify the secrecy. Morrison can't by himself say, "Oh, well, we're at war, we're censoring everything," but put a general beside him, and it becomes a matter of national security, operational matters, on-the-water matters. We can't tell you anything about what's going on. And as we've seen, these operational matters extend off the water as well into the concentration camps of Nauru and Manus Island. Okay, so perhaps, just perhaps, there is certainly some sort of conspiracy going on here, and more than perhaps, there is a cover-up that's part of it. Now, can Campbell buy out of this? Can Campbell say, "Well, I'm not really in it"? No, I'm afraid he can't. Not when he appears on a weekly basis on television, sitting beside the minister, nodding gravely and endorsing everything he says. Campbell may not believe he's part of a conspiracy, and it's certainly conceivable that he didn't want to be part of the conspiracy, that he didn't realise what he was getting into. But there is an old political saying, if you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. And there must be times when Campbell wishes he was well out of the kitchen and back to the comparative calm of a real battlefield in a real war. I'm Mungo McCallum.